We're back with another episode and another question, another topic. The last one was very interesting, so
The
let's
last one was
see what we have today. Oh, this is one from the last.
get close.
This is one from the last.
Oh, this is like you didn't.
These are from the originals.
Yeah, okay,
we're
okay,
putting more questions every episode.
Yes,
so
yes. Every time we have
We're keeping the
a thought.
content fresh.
Yes.
The question is, what are your thoughts on exercise?
I'll let you.
Well, I'm asking you.
Oh, okay. Because it's because last time I took it, like I started with it.
You took it.
Yeah, like you told me.
I asked the question last time too. Well, I want to hear what you think.
Okay.
I want to hear what your
I
thoughts
mean,
are. Or
you
I can
need it.
start.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I was already.
Go ahead.
Dude,
you have the floor.
You need exercise. That's like a given. You're a person in a meat sack that needs to. You're a person in a human meat sack or a physical meat sack that needs stimulation in order to maintain the healthy muscles and system functioning in our body. Because evolutionarily speaking.
Go ahead.
Evolutionarily speaking, that is exactly what we were designed for. We aren't floating jellyfish, so you need to exercise both your mind, your spirit, and your body.
I like that. I really thought you were going to just think of exercise as physicalness, but I really like that you talked about it in a holistic approach because I think that's very important. I think that you should be exercising your spirituality. You should be exercising physically and mentally. So,
Spiritually, how would you give an example as far as like exercising?
so my practice is to attend church every Sunday. I need to feed my spiritual thirst, and the way I get that is by going to church on Sundays. And
What is it that you are you okay if I like interrupt to kind of like
go for it.
you're good not
That's
to
the way.
talk.
No, go for it.
Like I want to like ask you like when you go to church on Sundays,
Mm-hmm.
what is it that you are receiving from church?
The first word that came to mind was wisdom. Was truly wisdom. I feel this sense of like energy when I'm there, and it just feels so good to be surrounded by other people who believe in something higher than themselves, as well as the message. I always find a way to apply it to my daily life, and it just helps me get through the week. It really helps rejuvenate me. It really helps get me started and tackle the week on. So it's something I can't like truly describe, but I know that it's just crazy the difference that it makes in my life.
Well, when you say spiritually, I would imagine like emotionally, right? Or what would you kind of like put it in the same context? Like
Yeah.
emotionally stability is spiritual stability.
Right, because I don't know about you, but I've had like ups and downs in my life, and sometimes it gets really lonely and it gets very sad. But to know that there's something out there that is almighty and powerful gives me a sense of hope and optimism that like tomorrow will be better and things will get better.
Yeah, I have my my thoughts on you know, religious organizations. I've made that very clear in my previous episodes without you, right?
I wouldn't know. I would need you to elaborate because I probably didn't watch the other episodes. If I wasn't on there, I wasn't watching.
Anyways, no,
So
no,
express
no,
like tell me. Let me hear you out. I want to hear you out.
there's things from the Bible that make sense to me, and I understand them. There's things in the Bible that don't make sense to me, so I can't follow blindly. Do you understand?
I do understand.
When in the Bible, it does say that we need to congregate. You need to. That's one of the things. I don't know if it's on the commandments. I'm not sure. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know. But I know in the Bible it says that we need to congregate. And a lot of people like to look at it. My dad especially. You have to go to church on Sundays specifically. You have to go to church. You have to be a part of the mass. You have to listen to the pastor. You need to participate. But the way I look at it, the way I think of God's, or the big guy, or our creator, whatever you kind of want to call it, or him, or the being, or the individual. The reason that's instruction is because specifically being around people is very good for you. Being around people for a good purpose is good for you. We aren't beings that were evolved alone. I go back to evolution a lot because a lot of people want to deny evolution all the time. I'm not saying religiously. I'm saying like people don't want to go out to get to the sun. People don't want to work out. People don't want to eat right. People don't want to follow because they're trying to work against thousands of years, millions of years of evolution. And just because of the way society is structured now, or the way that social media is kind of encouraging people to do, or, whatever X and Y,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't matter. But what I'm saying is that you need people in your life. Congregation is a gathering of people,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then I told my dad, the other argument with my dad was, what does a mass mean? Like, what does congregation mean? Is there a specific number? Because I know you're saying, the argument was that he wants me to go to church, and I'm saying I go to church when I talk to people about the Lord and God and what's good for us and what we should be doing and how we should be happy all the time and how we should be celebrating all the time because we live in paradise and all these things. And his argument against it is always that you need to go to church because you need to congregate. And my counter argument is I do. It might not be with 70 people or 100 people or 500 people, but it's with me and someone else, or me and 2 people, or me and 3 people. And I do that a regular amount of time, which keeps my spiritual balance, my emotional balance steady.
Right. I like that. And when we talk about spiritual exercising, it doesn't just mean religion, right? It could mean different things to different people. Another way that I exercise my spirituality is by going to yoga and meditating. That's very helpful for me too. I like to be surrounded by people with a similar goal and intention, but where we're serving something more than just our physical flesh, right? We're serving like an energy, but we're doing it with good intention. And so
there's no malice. There's no kind of petty.
Yeah,
thoughts.
It's just people with a positive mindset. And that's where I like to go, because when you understand that there's no such thing as perfect and we're constantly trying to improve ourselves, and you share that commonality with someone else, I feel like that's what solidifies just that we all just longing for something more.
Yeah.
And I would throw a shout out to the yoga studio that I have found here in the valley, because it's so good and it feeds me. And I love yoga. It. I go to Quiet Mind Yoga and it's so amazing.
How often?
At minimum once a week.
That's good.
Yeah, minimum once a week.
I haven't done it in a long time. I used to do it every morning. Just put 30 minutes on the TV.
Yeah.
And start like stretching, doing the what do you call these? I forgot when you stretch.
The warrior position. With that warrior position.
Reverse warrior.
Yeah, there's the meditation, there's breathing, there's breath work, there's physical body stuff. You said the F word?
Yeah, I said requiet.
So there's that sense, right, of spirituality, but also.
Oh, that one's spicy. That one's spicy there.
The other bite was spicy. So yeah, that's good. Like again, we're not here to preach, no pun intended, on what you should be believing. But I always tell people you should believe in something higher than yourself. Always try to take a step back from yourself spiritually and take that, just kind of see what works for you, so that you can find some type of contentment with your life and you can have some type of optimism for the next day, because things get tough. And I think you need to be
Mentally
conscious
speaking, yeah,
of
you
your
do.
spiritual.
The outdoors.
Speaking of mental,
Yeah.
let's go into the mental exercise part of thing.
Okay.
Because you were about to say
Yeah,
something about
yeah,
the
yeah,
outdoors.
for
Yeah,
sure.
let's go. Let's
Having
segue into that.
conversation, I think, is enough. You want to have conversation mentally,
Mm-hmm.
capabilities, expanding your ability to have patience with people. That's mental exercise. Crossword
100%.
puzzles, problem solving skills. That's a lot of the somewhat a lot of the correlation as far as like causes for what do you call it? What do you call Alzheimer's?
Alzheimer's.
If
So
you do more
what's
Sudoku in your life,
uh-huh.
that's
Statistically. Statistically. Uh-huh.
that will lower your likelihood of having Alzheimer's.
Okay.
Like, drastically.
So what are some of the things that you do to exercise your like mental, like your mind? What are some things that you think about or that you do that help you?
I have debates a lot with my dad, especially. It's very hard to kind of keep a train of thought with the way his arguments are kind of formulated. But it's very straining on the mind to kind of keep that. I also play Pokemon,
Okay.
trading card game online,
Uh-huh.
PTCG, but that's like a kind of like a more complicated way of playing chess. It's kind of figuring out how it's like a turn-based game, and you have to kind of figure out like strategy to kind of one up your other guy, but you also have to consider what they're having in their cards. It gets very complicated. It's very fun, but that's one of the games. There's also like video games in general. There's a lot of puzzle solving in video games as it is, as far as I kind of see. A lot of people kind of put a like negative connotation with all these things, like playing too much video games or playing card games, but with everything it's moderation, and if you do something too much it is excessive and it's
Mhm.
addiction, and it leads to a bad kind of spin out. But if you manage your life in short ways like that, like video games are good for you, especially the right video games. But if you play 8 hours a day and there's no real kind of benefit to you, or robbing you from the sun and making you kind of like prone to sicknesses and illnesses because you're not getting the appropriate amount of sun, then maybe you need to stop.
You see, I don't relate to the video game and to the puzzles. They're a little complex, and maybe I don't know if it's the challenge part of it, where when I'm thinking mentally, for me, I've never been a video game kind of guy. I just think that it seems boring to sit down and be like on a remote control. And I know that it's more than that, but from my perspective, it feels like you'll reach a point of stagnation. I don't even know if that's a word, but
Like you're not
reach
getting
stagnant. Like more out of it. I feel like
Yeah.
once you figure it out, like it's done. And I know that's why maybe there's more versions of the game, or there's
Yeah.
different video games, that sort of thing. Not my thing. I haven't done it now. I don't think I'm going to pick it up. I like to exercise my mind in the sense of intellect. I was not a big reader before, but I try my best to read a book at least once a month. That's the way that I feel like I exercise my mind. And the types of books that I like to read are close to like memoirs, but not really. Not like autobiographies, but like people who write books about almost like self help books, but also like goal oriented books. I also like to read like strategic thinking books, that sort of thing. I don't know, because it's easy. I feel like I'm being challenged with the puzzle. Like I don't know. It's like it's weird. It's like
Well, that's the exercise.
Mhm,
That's
mhm.
exercise. You
Right,
know what I'm
right,
saying?
right, right.
It has to hurt. It has to be annoying. It has to
It's
be like
annoying and like impatient, and those are things that I need
it's
to
like
work
it's
on.
like
Right?
physical. When you're working out, if you're working out the way you're supposed to, you feel like you're dying. You feel like you're supposed to get your heart rate up to 100, and I think it's 20 or 180.
180, because
To-
you're between 90 and 120
Yeah.
is your normal heart
Yeah.
rate.
Okay, so then 180.
180, yeah.
At 180, that means that you're pushing yourself and you're more likely to have a longer life because you regularly push your heart rate up at that amount, and you're exercising your heart, so your heart is used to these kind of strain. That's why a lot of people have heart attacks because their
that's
body.
what's crazy. I know that they recommend 180. That's the crazy part, but no, I'm good between 150 and 160 when I'm working out. But that's
I want
crazy
to
that
take you to FitLab, man.
right. Oh, because the Fit Lab or Orange Theory, right? They like monitor your
No, they
heart
don't.
rate.
They don't care.
No, but I'm saying some well, the intention is with Orange Theory is that they monitor your heart rate and they try to keep you in the orange
Yeah.
because that's where you're burning more calories,
Oh,
that sort of
that's
stuff.
annoying. That's
It's
so
a lot. I
gross.
don't.
No, in FitLab, it's crazy, man. I'm on the floor every 15 minutes. I'm like on the floor dying. But I only go 8 times a month, and that's enough to push me as far as like health wise, because my body feels like it's getting struggled to survive, and that's how you push that envelope of long living. So likewise, that you're straining your body, you're straining yourself to the point of exhaustion, because that recuperation is where next time you do it, it gets vastly easier, and next time you do it, it gets vastly easier. The puzzle, it hurts, it's hard, it's annoying, and that's what discourages me.
Mm-hmm.
But the more you do it, the easier it gets, and that's when you know it's working.
I understand that, and I probably will work on that and eventually get there. Right now, I need to feel like I'm accomplishing things and I'm being productive. So that to me would be counterintuitive right now.
But you do that at work.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I get it. I already get that type of
Yeah,
challenge in
yeah.
another way.
If
So
you're mentally exhausted from work, you're doing it.
I'm right because
That's
I'm
it.
like, oh, I have to
Yeah.
crunch the numbers. I have to do
Yeah.
certain
You're figuring
reports.
out
I'm
stuff.
figuring out
Yeah.
stuff. So I'm good on that end.
Yeah, so you're good.
So I'm focused right now more on the physical
yeah,
fitness part of it.
for sure.
And I go to the gym every single day at 5 in the
I can
morning.
see,
Thank you.
man.
I go, but because it after the first 3 months that I was doing it, it became a habit. You're right. After 21 days, you build a habit.
Yeah.
But it was like I was getting this almost like a spiritual high that I would get when I would go to church. But now I've been able to not master it, but close to understanding what my body wants physically. Though the thing about it though is I've reached that physical exhaustion because I was going every single day, and then like on Saturdays I was going at 8 or 9 when the gym would open, and then
Yeah.
on Sundays I would go right after church, so around 11. And I'm like, whoa, dude, 7 days a week for workout, and it
Need
was
a recuperation time.
you need
You need
to recover. You
Yeah.
need to recover.
It's all
Like
recovery.
it's all of the.
That's where you grow.
I wasn't thinking about that. I was just thinking like it was just helping me relieve, like it was my outlet for
Yeah.
certain things, and it became, at first I was using it as a coping mechanism, but now it's become a lifestyle. But I have to be conscious of like, dude, you can't, like I have to refrain from going to be able to recover from it, just like anything.
Yeah, you need recovery. That's why I tell you I go for about 8 days straight, and then the rest of the time I don't, and that's my recovery period. Don't think that I don't do anything else. I go
Oh,
to
you
the
go
park.
8 days straight?
Yeah, 8
Oh,
days
it's
straight.
not
It's
oh,
not
I thought it was scattered
No,
throughout
no,
the
no.
month.
I try to go 8 days straight.
Wait, why do you do that? Was that what they recommend, or did
No,
you just
no,
choose
they
8
want you to
days?
go every day unlimited. Like, but I've seen that I love it. Like I'm not trying to max my weight, but like
Why 8 days though? What's the
oh, that's how much the
package is? Got
There's
it. I'm
nothing
like,
that.
why?
No, if I
8
could,
days?
I could also do a week and then a week off, and then a week and then a week off. And there's some people that say 5 days and then 2 days off. And it works. There's recovery,
Mhm.
but I really like 8 days.
For
Oh man,
it's getting
that's
hotter.
where it is. It's at the tip. You said the tip was good.
Interesting.
Oh man,
Woo! Is it spicy?
yeah.
Good.
I don't have water, man.
Oh
Oh,
snap! That's what you get. Next episode we should talk about that, 'cause they do lots of experiments on how
Holy
to
mo-
train
Holy manoli.
your mind.
Oh,
You're my guinea pig right now.
oh.
Hopefully this works.
No, it is.
And we
I
get
mean,
the
I'm
F word
scared, man. It's all
down.
about fear. Fear is what makes you evolve. No, but I
We're
go,
using
I recover. But man, the thing I love about FitLab is that I can't go to any gym and do it myself. You have to have an external input as far as why you're getting pushed. One of the things I do a lot with my family is that I try to go every Sunday to do field day, and we play like tag or zombie or infected or whatever. And it's basically where one of us starts and we're trying to run. But you never ever will move like that at the gym, because it's not the motivation of running or a distance or trying to work out. You're trying to get away from someone. for you're exhausted and you're pushing and you're exhausted and you're pushing and you can't. You're pushing it. You're pushing it. You're pushing it.
Mm-hmm.
Fit Lab, same thing. You keep pushing it. The coach is on you. You see other people going. You got to get going. You got to keep going. You got to push. You got to keep going. And that is where you are growing.
I absolutely love that, and I couldn't agree more. I was doing that at the beginning of my fitness journey, and I was actually doing shout out to CrossFit, Charlie Mike CrossFit.
Oh, this guy right here, right?
Yeah, it was amazing. I did it for a few months, and I understood. I liked everything about it. It just
But then you wussied out.
not that I wussied out. It's just that I
joking,
plateaued
man.
in terms of my.
Hey, I bet that I'm on another level right now,
Yeah.
man. Okay.
You're on high alert. No, so get those dirty fingers out of my face. For me, it's just I need a change of scenery. I needed to change my body plateaued where I'm like, okay, I started losing the car. I like their format. You do cardio, you do intensity,
Yeah.
you do weight, so it's working all the parts of your body. I love that. The reason I resorted to going to the gym and doing my own exercise was because it became more than just fitness for me. It became an outlet for dealing with things in my life. Like when I would see the weights,
Yeah.
it was like, oh, okay, like I have to challenge myself with the weights. Like I'm in my own like environment. Like I put on my headphones, I play my music, I'm doing my thing, I'm feeling my body like it's just hungry for it. It's
It's
just like
therapy.
it's
Yeah, it's therapy.
therapeutic to the max.
But you need to push your body. It's not just because I've argued this with my sister who's quit Fit Lab and went to the gym. And people who go from the gym really cut really big and go to Fit Lab, their endurance is like bad.
Oh, and that's very true. And
that is the thing, dude. That like you have to push yourself. Not every day, maybe once every week, maybe.
let me tell you how I push myself.
Okay.
I go
Fitness
run.
dick in your mouth.
Whoa.
It's 'cause-
you're gonna cut that out.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
It's because you were saying fitness, and then that's why I started laughing over here, and I said I didn't want to say anything, but then
That should be considered a cuss word. You should take another bite.
that's
That's so inappropriate.
it's a D word.
The D word. Okay,
It
let me
is
go back.
vulgar. It does cut our audience. The tip.
The tip, how it's fitting.
Do you want some?
No, I'm not saying any bad words
You
or
should.
anything inappropriate.
You think like this thing's wired me right now. I'm like my instinct, my survival instincts are triggered.
Okay. So what I do to challenge myself, because I do agree, you need to push your body, is I run 3 miles. So this week I ran 3 miles for the first time in a long time. And dude, my legs were shaking, my thighs, I was out of breath a little bit. I was challenged. I was like, whoa, like this is crazy. Like I know I should be conditioned to be able to do this, but I hadn't
miles?
done it in a long time. 3 miles, right?
That's crazy.
So I did that on Tuesday. And then,
Oh, I saw you. Yeah.
right. Then I was like, no, there's no way. Like Michael, Mikey, you got to go back. Like you got to do it again. Like you were out of breath. Your legs were tired. Like what's all that about? Like what's the point of going to the gym and flexing? Not like literal flexing, like flexing your like in your everyday life physically, if you can't even stand the conditioning, right?
Yeah,
So
your body is like
I showed up again on Thursday, and I'm like, you're gonna do this again.
moderation. Though.
Yeah,
You do it
and
too
it
much,
felt
you're
no,
gonna
right. I did it. No, I only did it 2 times. I'm doing it 2 times a week. And so while I'm talking, you can go ahead and bite your jalapeno. I did it again, and I felt a lot better. You said something earlier about like how you do something and the struggle, the challenge, whatever, but you got to do it again. And I felt a lot better the second time. Normally that doesn't happen where you just do one thing and then the second time. But mind you, I have been working out for some time now, so my body just needed to get used to that challenge. And I don't know, I was really proud of myself. It's the little wins that count.
Yeah, that's.
That'll teach you a lesson. So
I
okay,
agree.
I I think yeah. So we talked about mental exercise. We
Physical.
talked about physical exercise. We talked about spiritual.
Mindful.
Being mindful of the things that you say. If not, you're gonna be eating a whole jalapeno.
That was
I
good.
wonder by the end of our episodes that you'll end up,
I'm gonna be a dangerous man.
yeah, finish eating up that whole jalapeno. Cool. Okay, I think that's a good wrap. Let's go on to our next topic.
Okay, well we gotta wrap it up.
Let's wrap it up. Okay, so exercise.
No, I mean like we gotta end the episode like a nice outro.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we talked about exercise, so I want you to talk like out of those the things that we talked about. What would you say is like your key takeaway?
Yeah, you need all that stuff. Moderation. And find new ways to push yourself because you plateau easy.
Absolutely. So remember to, I guess for me, remember to exercise your mental, your physical, and your spiritual.
You have to be uncomfortable.
Right.
That's
And
the game.
I told myself, you get the mental workout out of your job. So your check mark there. Physically, you show up to the gym and you do the work. Check.
You gotta stop.
And
eating,
then
too.
spiritually, you go to church on Sundays, which is helpful for me.
Yeah.
To each their own. Check. So right now, I'm finding a moderation and I'm trying to balance all of that out because you need to balance that out. If you have a little bit, if you have a lot of something and not enough of something, it kind of just throws you off. So I guess my key takeaway there is to have balance and moderation with what you're feeding your body, physically, mentally, and spiritually.
Excellent. I love it. We'll see you guys next time on this podcast. Bye.